Our next question was sent in via email to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Matt in Boston. This is a long one, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Corny, a coworker, and I were having a conversation about the role Ring of Honor played in AEW getting off the ground. They didn't have to allow their talent to appear on the All In show, but they did. They didn't have to promote All In on their weekly TV show for months, but they did. They didn't have to lend their crew and infrastructure to Cody and the Bucks to make All In happen. After spending 2+ years booking the Elite at the top of their card, burying the rest of the roster in the process, how on earth did Ring of Honor allow Cody, Brandy, the Bucks, Adam Page, and SCU to all leave at once and take the lightning in a bottle that was fostered in Ring of Honor over to Tony Khan? In the immediate aftermath, Ring of Honor's attendance and show quality has plummeted. The MSG show should have been their crowning achievement, yet it was a dud and quite underwhelming. The MSG show sold out prior to the Elite leaving and forming AEW. I think it's fair to say that the post-Elite crew wouldn't have sold out the show. And then it goes on and on from there, but obviously it kind of sums it up in the beginning there. What do you think about the idea that Ring of Honor, for a few years, built up all these guys and then they all just walked out?
Well, it's almost like that there's nobody with full control in Ring of Honor that understands how that some wrestlers tend to manipulate people who don't have wrestling backgrounds or much of a background in life due to their still youthful, fresh-faced exuberance. It's almost like that some wrestlers can take people like that and just twist them around their little finger and get basically used, abused, and left lying on the floor like a stained Kleenex on the peep show booth floor of life, and couldn't see it coming when other people in the company who had much more wrestling experience and could spot, as my mother used to say, a real stinker when they saw one, might have known what was going to happen when short-term gain is preferred over long-term stability, and people are catered to that will not show you the same loyalty in return.
You hit on a word there that I've heard in the past from people in the business about the Bucks. Not taking sides, just repeating what I've heard. Manipulative. Have you heard that before from people?
Why, I don't know. Little connivers, I think, was the phrase. Connivers. But nevertheless, I mean, for some people see genuine emotion and genuine credibility in some people when they say some things, and other people like me just see little fucking wheedlers.
What do you think of the position that Ring of Honor is in now? Because, I mean, this does bring up a good point. They were gutted. All their guys they've been building up for a couple of years just gone in one fell swoop. The story that a lot of people seem to think is that a couple more guys are about to leave and go to AEW because their contracts are about to come up and they're friends with those guys. What do you do if you are Ring of Honor? How do you...
God damn it. How many times I have to save this one fucking company? I've mentioned that I signed a non-disclosure situation in the past, so I wouldn't dream of disclosing anything that shouldn't be disclosed. But if I was a discloser, I would disclose that I would have told Tony Khan on the telephone, I think you should let these guys go to Madison Square Garden. And I think that Madison Square Garden being sold out, I mentioned part of this on the program. I think they should have live streamed it to the theater next door. What do they call it now? The Paramount. And sold that out too, and put it on the screen outside Madison Square Garden and got footage of people watching it out there, where in the world's most famous arena on WrestleMania weekend. What were people standing in the streets to watch, like Ricky Dozan versus fucking Freddie Blassie? It was Ring of Honor wrestling with this new faction from this new promotion fucking appearing and trying to fucking take over, and it would be goddamn publicity for an interpromotional angle that could potentially be done on national cable and around 100 local broadcast syndicated stations across the country, both with rosters that have ill will toward one another from places they've been previously. If it was worked properly from the start, it could have been a kind of a major interpromotional fucking thing where everybody would benefit. And what would be the harm, especially in pooling those collective resources, such as 100 syndicated stations and national cable outlet, and et cetera, instead of trying to, basically be an island unto everyone's self, like everybody tries to be these days, and nobody benefits from it. Did I speak enough through the lines there that my point got across? This whole thing could have been avoided on everybody's part if one wasn't fucking overconfident and the other one was afraid to get their fucking feet wet and jump into wrestling business all the way. There was a chance there where something could have been done to form an amalgamation that could have rivaled Vince McMahon on that particular weekend, at least in publicity and or statement made. But everybody wants to do their own thing.